young King Arthur was ambushed and imprisoned by the monarch of a neighboring kingdom. The monarch could have killed him, but was moved by Arthur's youth and ideals. So the monarch offered him his freedom, as long as he could answer a very difficult question. Arthur would have a year to figure out the answer. If after a year he still had no answer, he would be put to death. The question: what do women really want? Such a question would perplex even the most knowledgeable of men, and to young Arthur it seemed an impossible query. But since it was better than death, he accepted the monarch's proposition to have an answer by year's end. He returned to the kingdom and began to poll everyone: the princess, the prostitutes, the priests, the wise men, the court jester. He spoke with everyone, but no one could give him a satisfactory answer. Many people advised him to consult the old witch. Only she would know the answer. The price would be high. The witch was famous throughout the kingdom for her exorbitant prices she charged. The last day of the year arrived, and Arthur had no alternative but to talk to the witch. She agreed to answer his question, but he'd have to accept her price first. The old witch wanted to marry Gawain, the most noble of knights of the King's Round Table and Arthur's closest friend. Young Arthur was horrified. She was hunchbacked, hideous, had only one tooth, smelled like sewage, and made obscene noises. He never had encountered such a repugnant creature. He refused to force his friend to marry her and have to endure such a burden. Gawain, upon learning of the proposal, spoke with Arthur. He told him that nothing was too big a sacrifice compared to Arthur's life and the preservation of the Round Table. So their wedding was proclaimed, and the witch answered Arthur's question. What women really want? They want their sovereignty. They want to be in charge of their own lives, their freedom. Everyone instantly knew that the witch had uttered a great truth, and that Arthur's life would be spared. And so it was. The neighboring monarch granted Arthur total freedom. What a wedding that Gawain and the witch had. Arthur was torn between relief and anguish. Gawain was proper as always, gentle and courteous. The old witch put her worst manners on display and generally made everyone very uncomfortable. The honeymoon hour approached. Gawain, steeling himself for a horrific experience, entered the bedroom. But what a sight awaited him! The most beautiful woman he'd ever laid eyes on lay before him. Then astounded Gawain asked what had happened, and the beauty replied that since he had been so kind to her when she appeared as a witch, she would only be her deformed, horrible self half the time, and the other half be her beautiful maiden self. Which would he want her to be during the day, and which would he want her to be during the night? Oh God, what a cruel, cruel question. Gawain pondered his predicament. During the day, a beautiful woman to show off to his friends, but at night, in the privacy of his home, an old witch? Or would he prefer having, by day, a hideous witch, and by night, a beautiful woman with whom to enjoy many intimate moments? Noble Gawain replied that he wanted what she wanted for herself. So it was her choice to make. Upon hearing this, she announced that she would be beautiful all the time, because he had respected her enough to let her choose for herself and be in charge of her own life, her own freedom. And so it was. What does sovereignty and what does freedom and what does feminine freedom mean to you?